Well, graduate student workers at Indiana University's Bloomington campus are on strike, demanding the school recognize them as a union. But as Indiana Public Broadcasting's Justin Hicks reports, the school says it has no intention of bargaining with the group and has no legal obligation to do so.
What kind of power? Union power!
The Indiana Graduate Workers Coalition, United Electrical Workers, went on strike starting Wednesday, demanding the school recognize them as a union. They say with recognition, graduate workers could better bargain for an end to an annual $700 student fee and better wages. The strike comes after IU denied a petition from roughly 1,600 graduate workers earlier this year, asking that the school recognize the union and hold an election per its policy for staff. The university says that's because the graduate students, who grade papers, teach classes, and conduct research, aren't really employees. Students disagree with that characterization.
Even though we have W-2s, we do labor. We have our official paperwork says we are, 0.375, part-time workers, but the administration says we're students first.
In recent years, a number of private universities have recognized graduate student worker unions, but as a public employer, Indiana isn't legally required to recognize the union under state law. Striking graduate workers could be fired with no repercussions or even fined by a court.
It's illegal for you to go on strike. The only right you possess would be a First Amendment right under the U.S. Constitution to belong to a union. That doesn't mean you get to bargain or file a grievance, but it's the right of association.
Well, here we are, undergrads and grad students united, and I say we're making our demands pretty clear, aren't we?
Currently, Indiana University Bloomington voluntarily recognizes two unions, one for custodians and another for clerical staff. With roughly 2,500 student academic appointees on campus, it could easily become the largest bargaining unit if recognized. The graduate student workers say they'll strike for at least a week, but could extend it if a majority of the union vote in favor. Meanwhile, students and faculty groups at IU and unions across the state have voiced their support for the strike. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Justin Hicks.
And my colleague Justin Hicks joins us now. So, Justin, what makes a public university different from a private school when it comes to these labor organizations?
Yeah, so it boils down to labor law. So private institutions are private employers and therefore are governed by federal labor law through the National Labor Relations Board. They have rules that say anyone can unionize, private employees can unionize, and they can take a vote. It doesn't necessarily mean that the business has to sort of listen to them and negotiate with them, but it gives them the right to be recognized by the NLRB as a union. For public employers, though, the NLRB does not touch them. They say that's up to states and individual states. And Indiana does not give public employees, most public employees, with the exception of maybe like firefighters, some teachers, things like that, it does not give public employees the right to unionize and to be recognized. So they can be voluntarily recognized, like IU voluntarily recognizes two unions already. However, they do not have to recognize them under Indiana law.
Justin, are there other successful examples at other universities? So do these students kind of have a roadmap forward?
Yeah, so right now, actually, private universities have seen a lot of graduate students unionizing. Recently, MIT decided to unionize. Graduate students had a big win there. The administration at MIT says they want to negotiate with them. We've also seen success recently at Fordham University, also a private university. So successes are all over the country right now. Graduate students are looking to organize. They're having more success at private universities than public universities so far.
Justin, just under 30 seconds, really quick, if IU is successful, kind of the opposite, so what impact could that have on other campuses in Indiana?
Yeah, so I can imagine other public university graduate students looking to unionize if they're successful at IU. We know that students at Purdue are very interested in this and may consider it as well.
Justin, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.